My name is Carlin. Welcome to my channel. Disclaimer, disclaimer, disclaimer. Things you see me doing in my videos are probably not the best way you could do things. Sometimes I know better. Sometimes I will eventually learn about a better way. I don't go out of my way to be dangerous though. So if you see something, go ahead and mention it in the comments. I really do like the following sayings, even though they probably are cliche. Do what you can with what you have where you are. And from the military mindset, improvise, adapt, and overcome. Or, more recently, something I've been using a lot, fabricate or die. With all that said, the following video is a record of how I did something. You probably can do better. It's not my job to be here telling you how to do something, okay? You have been warned. On with the show. That's what we got. Works with all US carriers in this version. This is the Home Cell Signal Booster Home Room Edition. Meaning it's supposed to cover mainly one room, not your whole entire property. Alright? That's the main receiver. The white cable goes outside to the outside antenna. The little black cable on the bottom goes to the inside antenna. They are different sizes, so you can't get them confused. The other black wire at the top is the power cable. That comes down to a wall wart, that one right there. This is the inside antenna. This should be aimed in the opposite direction as the outside antenna. So the outside antenna is aimed like that way. So this thing is kind of in line with that. That seems to work well. And it kind of broadcasts a signal in this general direction. 71, 70, that's actually pretty good. I went across over the door and down and through a hole I made. And when I drilled that hole, maybe it didn't show up on the video, I angled it from, I'm kind of catching the bottom plate of the wall, and I angled it down at about roughly say 45 degrees. All right. That way any water would tend to run out. And I siliconed the inside and the outside of the hole. And the silver is plumber's pipe hanging tape, I guess is what you call it. You can cut it real easy with tin snips, and then I was just using short screws to mount that everywhere. Let's see, up here I slightly angled the antenna upwards because we're aiming at the top of the mountain over there. And when I made this, I think this might show up. Let's see if this picks up on here. This piece is a triangle that is setting my angle for me. So I've got the antenna mounted flat and true to this really crooked 2x4. And the 2x4 is aimed at the tower. And I made this angled piece here because this piece is pretty close to going east, and I needed about 30 degrees to pick up that tower. That was after testing it with the pipe. By doing it with the pipe, I could slowly turn it back and forth and check the signal. So I was able to dial it in pretty good. That's what everybody says, that there's a tower in that direction somewhere. So that seemed to be where it was at. So I'm like, okay, from then I just looked at the tower, figured out the angle. It was roughly 30 degrees. We're not quite there, but we're really close. So by doing this and the little wedges I added on top, if I take this down, I can put it right back against that same wedge, and it's going to be the same angle. I don't have to mess around with it now. So I think that worked out pretty good. And then so from there, I got a little bit of loom at the top and a bunch of black electrical tape, and then the white PVC just to protect, mainly to protect the wire from the sun, because the sun just kills wires out here. Let's see, how are we doing? Oh yeah, I got my headphones on still. That's a very attractive look. I don't know if that helps or not. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully you found that entertaining and maybe a little bit useful. And be sure to like and subscribe, and check out Patreon if you like. And links are in the description. Alright, well, thanks for now. Peace out. Alright, today's video made possible by YouTube viewer Houston Firefox, who has been a big supporter of the channel here, and also recently bought half of my land. So, hey, thank you very much. That changes everything, right? Alright, I'm back. I know you don't like me reading the scripts, but honestly I ad-libbed it and it came out to 45 minutes and ain't nobody got time for that. So, there we go. First off, I'd like to thank Houston Firefox again for the generous support lately. He bought me the cell phone booster, so thank you very much. Okay, so I've been using the WeBoost for about a month now. It's pretty cool when it works. I'm able to get LTE signal, which I can't get without the booster. I'm able to check emails better, and the photos in the emails load more often. I'm even able to download videos from YouTube through the YouTube Premium app so I can watch them later. That works a lot better than trying to watch a video with a weak connection. So far, it's pretty awesome. However, I think I'm probably 15 miles from the tower on the top of the mountain. That is asking a lot. I'm aimed at that tower because in my testing it gave me the most usable signal. If all I wanted to do was read email, scroll for hours on Facebook, and watch YouTube videos, it would be a win. Maybe I'm asking too much. I've had broadband, high-speed internet off and on since before Y2K, so coming out here to the ranch has been like going back 20 years. I remember dial-up. My first modem was 2400 baud. Sometimes it feels like that, only the dial-up was more reliable. I also want to be able to get internet on my laptops. In theory, that should work through the cell phone's Wi-Fi hotspot feature. I know that can work. That's what I do when I'm in the truck in town. It doesn't really work out here. It tries, but with a few rare exceptions, I can't even read email through that connection on my laptop. Uploading videos is completely out of the question, and here's why. When I download a YouTube video, it's around 100 megabytes typically. When I upload a video that I create, that will be around 1000 to 2000 megabytes, so about 10 times bigger or more. The downloader app will just restart and keeps retrying if it is interrupted. The uploader will just fault out after a while and give you an error. I've never gotten further than a few percent, even on a short video. It's slow enough, I could easily drive into town faster to upload the video from the side of the road. That's what I typically do now. That's not so bad. I have to go and check my mail once in a while, and eventually I'll need to go for groceries, so I can do my uploads then. So, to summarize, it does work. It's much better than just the phone by itself. In my location and my situation, if I had a landline and a modem, I'd probably use that more often. Or a carrier pigeon. Can a pigeon carry a cell phone? Okay, that's my 2 cents worth. I think the install part of the video went well enough. You should totally check that out. Alright, thanks for watching. I'm Carlin. Bye for now. Alright, so what we got here is the WeBoost, Wilson Electronics brand home cell signal booster. This is retail, I think at Amazon was about $400 if I remember right. We went back and forth and looked at some options. So most of the specs would be easier just to check out online, but since you're here anyway, that's what the box looks like. Based on what your outside signal is, it'll give you a ratio of how much area your boosted area will be inside. Anyway, I'm not going to go on about that too much, but if you got no signal at all, signal booster likely will not work. Okay. And this was kind of the point here. On my old phone, it just didn't work at all, so I wasn't even thinking about a booster. I'm running a Google Project Fi, or I guess it's just Google Fi now, cell phone, the 5X, which is one of the older ones. It's a dual band phone that can pick up 3G or LTE. Okay. Well, all of a sudden I started getting cell phone signal out here. Sometimes I'll get like 1 bar, maybe 2 bars, half a bar, but it's not enough to do video uploads. I'm not uploading any videos from out on the ranch. But I do get emails come through. Sometimes the pictures in the emails will actually load, sometimes they don't, but at least you can see that you had an email. Facebook didn't work very well, but Facebook Lite does work, so I'll see some status updates and so on. So cell phone by itself without a booster is just on the edge of being useful. So today is a very cloudy day. I just knocked my inverter offline trying to make a cup of coffee, so I don't know if I'm going to take the time to actually set this up. In fact, it looks really stormy outside. Since I got it, I figured I'd at least open it up, and we'll take a look, and then go from there. Try not to drop all the pieces here. Need help? Contact us directly. Cell phone doesn't work out here. Can't call you. Anyway, so we got package contents on the top here. You can't see that. How about that? So there's going to be the main booster. There's an inside antenna, an outside antenna. 30 feet of cables times 2. There's a window entry cable, the power supply, a roof pole mount bracket, wall mount bracket, and a cable connector. It'll take 1 to 2 hours, 1 to 2 people. You need a ladder, Phillips head screwdriver, 10mm open end wrench or adjustable wrench, drill if routing cable through wall, and a 1 1/4 to 2 inch diameter pipe or pole, or an existing pole, and recommended a power strip. Alright, the way that they laid this out, this is kind of clever. Step 1A, step 1B, step 2A. So they've got instructions and labels stuck right on each device that tells you what order you're going to be using these things in. If you just pick this thing up, I don't know what that is, you know. So, nicely well thought out. It's, you know, it probably, they looked at their call logs on all of the tech support lines and said, okay, how can we make this easier for the guys to hook it up? One of the things that's kind of cool, this is the booster, this is the main brains of it. And then this is the antenna that you go inside your house. So you could set this somewhere. Place inside antenna in weak signal area at least 18 inches away from the booster. Okay, so that's your booster, that's this, and then your outside antenna. Okay. And the main unit has got power jack and 2 coaxial type connectors, and they're different sizes, so you don't accidentally hook up the wrong one. That's kind of good. Yeah, let's see what's underneath. You got your power supply, step 4. That's not yet. Step 2B, mounting hardware. And it's got a cable splicer in there. So you can mount this to a 2-inch pipe. Nice looking brackets though. Third step is going to be the cable. So I'm kind of doing these out of order. 2 rolls of cable. Use as much as you need to get to where you're going. And I've seen some videos about this. This is the window cable. The idea is you could pass it through a window, and it's thin enough you can get the window most of the way closed. So if you weren't ready to do a permanent installation where you really wanted to drill holes in your house, you could use this to get you going. Alright, so for now I'm going to leave this alone. And it's looking like storm weather outside, so I don't want to actually set this up, but I wanted to take the time to get the unboxing done in case I just decide to jump into this later. One of the issues, the hardware that they give you includes this U-bolt. Yeah, so this U-bolt comes with the hardware. The instructions say up to 2-inch pipe, so I'm thinking 2-inch PVC pipe, but that's more than 2 inches outside diameter. Doesn't work. Install it on a pipe so that once you got it up, you can rotate the pipe a little bit and fine-tune it. So I improvised, dug around, found a scrap of wood, 2x2, took a wood chisel, knocked the corners off a little bit. That's a reminder. I'm going to put a hole in there and a little screw just to keep it from spinning or falling off, because when I hold it up over my head, I don't want to drop it. Okay, yonder 2x4, and the PVC pipe I've got is 10 feet, so on top of 8 feet, on top of a little bit. I'm not going to go all the way up the first time. I'm just going to get it 10 or 15 feet off the ground, and we're just going to clamp it for now. No, none of this is legit, but it's a starting point. Okay, now we go inside and make the connections. For now, I'm just going to leave the door propped open and run the cable through the door. It's a very sightly thing. So the way that the instructions read, that antenna should be 50 feet away horizontally or 20 feet away vertically from the inside antenna. But my house is only 35 feet long. I'm trying to get the kinks out. Hand tight. Do not tighten these down with the wrench. Now, the inside antenna should be faced away or the opposite direction as the outside antenna, which is about that way. Step 1, inside antenna connects to base. Step 2, outside pointed towards nearest cell phone tower. And this was identified by that software, Open Signal. It said it was more or less in that direction. So I'm like, all right. And I sat there and moved the phone back and forth, and the arrow kept swinging. So I'm like, all right, it seems to think it knows where one is. Outside must be 50 feet horizontal or 20 feet vertical from inside. So right now we are on the end of the cable pretty much. Power up the booster and then we optimize. So now we hook it up. Alright, power supply rated at 1 amp, outputs 5 volts, 4 amps. Okay, so I got 4 green lights. After powering the system, you're ready to optimize your system. Rotate the outside antenna in quarter turn increments within cell tower's general location, each time observing the signal level on your phone. Okay, I did a screenshot on the phone earlier that showed me how much signal I had. I saw 99 and I'm getting 81. That's a pretty sizable increase. I'm getting really good bars right now. Damn, that's all right. Signal strength minus 90 right now. That's still better than it was. Okay. So I'm going to move it and come back. I moved it about 30 degrees to the right. 101. 16 ASU. Alright, I went about the equal distance to the left just to kind of bracket it. That's minus 98. Which is almost as good as I had before with no booster. So I'm going to aim it where I think the tower should be based on that app. This is the part that seems fiddly, but if it works, it's totally worth it. And that's still 100. This part could fake you out a little bit because it'll jump around if you're not doing anything. It seems like I'm getting a signal from where I thought the tower would be originally, which is on the top of that mountain. I've had people say that if you could see the observatory, there's a white dome up there. It's either an observatory or a ray dome. I think I've seen signs for observatory. I should really check that out. 3 years later, I still don't know. Anyway, so east is about there, somewhere in that way. Sunrise is coming up right around here right now. All right. So I'm going to rehook everything up on this one. So I just grabbed the pipe and moved it over. It's attached to the windbreak right now with the clamps. I was getting in the 60s, and then all of a sudden it switched from 3G to the LTE. And I'm not sure on my phone if I can tell it not to do that, but it was looking really good on 3G. Then it jumped over to LTE, which would probably be better out here. Probably why the phone switched. If it can get an LTE, that would probably be better. I don't have 4G on that phone. But the phone kept telling me on the app it was the other direction. So I went back to there. But I started just kind of circling and I figured out this direction seemed to work better. So let me just go ahead and I'll come back in a minute. I'm going to test it. I'm going to say that's 12 feet above the ground, about 25 feet horizontally from where the phone is. Okay, so they want you to be about 50 feet away or 20 feet vertical. Okay. With the materials I have, I could probably get 20 feet vertical. However, I don't think I need to. One thing I'm looking at though, if the tower is in fact up on top of that mountain, I could maybe tilt up a little bit. But I'm getting between 3 and 4 bars of LTE, and I'm downloading a YouTube video right now. It's actually downloading. My signal strength isn't as high as what I was seeing on the 3G, but it seems like it's working better. Anyway, so it is definitely working. I'm getting signal that I never got before. But I got a starting point. I kind of know which direction to look. Okay, that's the current test rig, and I just got the wire still running lazily looped along and through the window. All right. So what I figured out, the approximate angle that the antenna, I want to say dish, but the antenna is aimed is about 30 degrees off from here. So if we look here, that's kind of due east, and we're going about there. So that's roughly 30 degrees. So what I came up with, I cut a couple of these on the table saw. One of them is already attached here. So you can kind of see the angle. It's aimed pretty close, within 5 degrees probably of our target. All right. I'm not convinced that I have to be up 20 feet in the air because I've got line of sight all the way from here to there. All right. But here, I added a little wedge that I cut very carefully on the table saw. I made 2 of them. And this is going to be the part that the antenna mounts to. So this is the house mount. We'll set that on here, and I already pre-drilled some holes. And then this bracket attaches to the back of the antenna, and it slots into here. So the idea is I'm kind of baking in my angle. That seems to be working okay. I'm not really thrilled with it. It's like I'm seeing good signal, but not really good performance. Now, okay, first of all, I'm not paying for this. One of the viewers sent me this, so thank you very much. I do appreciate it. And it's going to let me do things that I couldn't do out here before. So that's definitely worth the time. And, you know, I'm into my second day of setting this up already, so I want to do as good of a job as I can. If I can get this to work where it's reasonably reliable, that I can just start something and walk away and know that if 4 hours later it gets done, that's fine. That saves me from having to drive into town. If I can do little stuff out here, that's going to be worthwhile. I can reply to YouTube comments and emails and messages and that kind of stuff. I'm going to end up going into town either, into El Paso for groceries at least once a month. And I'll be driving in to check my postal mailbox. So maybe I'll just do my bigger uploads there. But if I can do little stuff out here, it's probably worthwhile. So we'll kind of go with that. Figured I'd run it in some pipe to protect it from the sun. And just to make it really awesome, I'll trench it. It's inside this PVC pipe, so I'm using PVC for the straight run, and then I'm using the black flex pipe because I have it. I got it mounted on the wood post now, and I put a little bit of loom at the top of the wire. Did some electrical tape and just kind of closed off the opening so hopefully nothing crawls down in there. I'm going to say Border Patrol, but it's actually Customs helicopter. They just buzzed me a few minutes ago. They're just starting up again, so I don't know if they were stopping to pick somebody up or what. But they circled me a couple times. The first time I didn't hear them. I had my headphones on and just happened to look up as they went buzzing by, and I'm like, oh, okay. So I kind of peek up, and then they were kind of going in circles a little bit, and then they landed over by the county road. So as soon as you look away, right? Mounting the main receiver on a piece of OSB, I was originally, because it's got little screw slots on the back, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm going to put that on a piece of wood and then mount it somewhere. But I wasn't sure where I wanted it. I'm like, oh, crap. If I put it on the French cleat, I've got a French cleat that goes 5 feet across and on the windows and on the other side. So if I decide there's a better place to put it, I can just move it real easy. And all of these P-clamps or P-clips or wire clamps or ADAL clamps, I prefer ADAL clamps, but half the time it comes up as 3G and half the time it's LTE in that direction. So it's jumping between about 2 and 3 bars. Sometimes it'll say 5 bars. It's a little bit misleading. The 4 lights on that thing don't mean 4 bars on the WeBooster. 14 clicks later, 72 dB and 16 ASU. That's pretty good. It's actually showing full 4 bars right now. So, thing is, what I'm finding, I'll get all excited. Oh my God, I got 3 or 4 bars, and it is just dial-up 1990s speed. Sometimes it goes pretty good. Sometimes it's not so much. But I gotta figure I'm probably 15 miles from that tower, so the fact that I got a nice loud signal doesn't mean it's a strong connection. Let's see, how are we doing? Oh yeah, I got my headphones on still. That's a very attractive look. I don't know if that helps or not. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hopefully you found that entertaining and maybe a little bit useful. And be sure to like and subscribe, and check out Patreon if you like. And links are in the description. All right, well, thanks for now. Peace out.